Troy here with Lithogen Geophysics. We had a couple of questions after my last LMX200 video, so those questions are going to attempt to be answered in this video. Principally, what does the SmartTow configuration look like with the Noggin 100 Ultra? And can you use the Geode with the Noggin? So we're going to demonstrate both of these things in this video. The 100 sees a little bit deeper in the clay that I have here, so if you saw the last video and you saw a lot of disappointing results, the 100 is a way to get a better result. This is going to be a little bit awkwardly filmed because I'm using my phone. Nevertheless, I'll do what I can. For starters, I'm just going to put on the harness and battery so that I can walk around with the equipment. This equipment is going out to a customer in a couple of days, so setting it up here like this is part of my pre-job checkout, and this is the exact configuration that the customer is getting. So basically it's to confirm that all the parts are here, everything is working. You don't want to get to the field and find out you're missing a strap. Somewhat adjustable, as is the length of this handle. After the harness is on, plug the battery in. Make sure that the GPS is turned on by pushing the button here, and then you can turn the console on. Now I'm going to come over there and grab the phone. And I realize now that I should have cleaned the screen prior, so you're going to see a bunch of old fossilized raindrops on the screen during this video. Such is life. Alright, again, glare on the screen. This is the system booting up. Looks like there's some flicker as well, based on the refresh rates being different on the screen and my phone. So we'll see how that films. Now, first thing to check is the configuration. We're going to go to System Configuration. Right now it's set to Noggin 100 SmartTow. That's the default configuration for the Noggin Ultra 100 SmartTow. I've lowered the scan depth from the default 10 meters to 5 meters. And we're just going to hit GPS here. And it's set to external, UTM, GGA only, 19200, and serial port power is off. If you're using the old Topcon antenna where it required the power to go over the serial port, you would turn that on. But generally speaking, most GPSs have their own internal batteries these days, including the Geode. If we hit GPS test, it shows that it's working. We got lots of satellites out here. Test is successful. If you go to strings, you can actually see the GGA and GSA strings scrolling by. In the Geode configuration, I only have GGA and GSA turned on. Some of the other strings, on very rare occasion, will cause things to crash. Now, we are using the odometer to trigger, so the wheel has to be in contact with the ground. If you don't want to use the odometer, you can use continuous or free run mode and just have GPS triggering. We're going to go to the main menu, line scan. Start. And I'm basically going to do the same survey I did in my LMX 200 video, run the same route. Alright, we are surveying. We have a gain of 6, which is a good default. Somewhere between 4 and 6 is good default. We're going to turn the filter on just a little bit so that we can see the rebar in the concrete. And finally, we're going to zoom to only show 4 meters on the screen, just to see a little bit further up. So now we are starting to record data. Let's see if I can get the phone to focus a little better. Maybe. That's terrible focus. There we go. Now you can see this is returning clean data much deeper than that LMX 200 was doing yesterday, where it was all salt and pepper at the bottom at 4 meters. You can also see at the top here, this is the rebar. So we're going to increase the filter a little bit to try to show the rebar response a little bit more clearly. So this is the same pad that we were looking at yesterday, showing the rebar. And we're going to cross onto the city-owned pad here by the edge of the property. You'll see a change in the characteristics. And again onto the street. Change in characteristics. So we could probably actually measure pad thickness here, but it wouldn't be very accurate. We would want to use a higher frequency GPR for pad thickness. Hey look, there's a professional line locator right over there. Doing his job. Maybe I can sell him some GPR equipment. Now we're going to go off the pad. Yesterday with the LMX 200, I could see my water stem here, and we'll see if the water stem shows up. I just passed over it, and you can see, I'm going to turn the filter up higher. It's not really visible here. Wavelength is too large. And there's a couple of gas lines marked here in the grass because they're installing fiber optics in my neighborhood. And we're going to attempt to see them as well. They're going to show up down at the bottom here, if they show up at all, depending on the glare and the film quality. Turn around, get the glare. Sun behind me. Yeah, there's a hint of something there and there, but barely. If you cross this line enough times, you might be able to put a string of pearls together based on that, but it's still clay and still hard to see gas line. You can see a little bit of ripple up at the top. That's actually from my walking pattern. As I'm pulling, I'm tugging a little bit on it, and it's kind of changing the coupling. Ideally, I should probably have the handle set a little bit longer so that it doesn't pull and that stays a little smoother. Okay, that's all, and hopefully this answers the customer's questions.